when we put out a new bike, we get people foamed up and they care deeply about it.
You can hype something, and there's so few things in the modern world that deliver. This is one of those things that delivers.
There's just a huge amount of storage in the motorcycle. What was the goal in building in that much storage?
Be class leading, definitely. I mean, not even, we didn't want anybody to even be close to us as far as that.
You kind of go out there and see where everybody else is at and say, how can we win? So we just made the biggest saddlebags possible, the largest trunk in the world, and put it all on one motorcycle. So the whole package is there.
Well, that was part of the plan from the get-go, was that a backpack or a duffel bag that was as large as we wanted to should fit right in.
Just the two storage that are up in the lower fairings, and that's a lot of room.
The left-hand side has got the connector for the iPod and a 12-volt cigarette lighter jack for plugging in cell phones.
Yep, you got room for full-face helmets in the trunk. You've got, it's pretty amazing. Literally take my whole duffel bag and just shove it in there. I don't take anything out. I don't pack anything particular. I just go boom, and I stuff it in there, and I go, that's 6 days.
Got a cable hanging in front of the... Sorry, just covering up my eyebrow hair.
We're trying to make the most comfortable bike in our lineup, you know, it's very geared up for touring. You know, so I mean, you know, the certain, you know, we wanted certain amount of, you know, seat form, you know, the width of the seats, you know, the location, ergonomics, everything.
You got huge footboards, you got loads of feet positions. The fact that you got some flat room on the seat to go back and forth, you know, it's a good high mileage bike.
There seems to me to be a lot of room from like the passenger's back to the rider's back.
That's very different from our cockpit compared to some of our competitors. There is a substantial amount of room even for the passenger to go move fore and aft in the back. That's a big deal.
Yeah. You're never cramped. You've got a little more room to move around. And then the passenger has now adjustable floorboards. That's a new feature on the cross-country touring. It's a standard feature.
On the cross-country tour, you guys are introducing a new air management system. Tell us about what the Victory Comfort Control system is all about, how it works, and what does it ultimately mean for the rider?
Say it's cold in the morning, 30 degrees, and you're in some high elevation. You can shut those lower deflectors and twist down the uppers, and basically you're in a cocoon. You're in your own wind-free motorcycle ride, right? And then as the temperature rises and it's 70, 80 degrees, and you want to cool off, you can flip these and adjust them, and it's just like you were on a bike without a fairing.
Behind the windshield in the front of the cross country, there's a little opening that lets the air up behind the windshield. We found that made a huge difference to the airflow and kicked the air up higher. On the cross country tour, we've got the tall windshield as a standard windshield on that bike.
We couldn't make it any taller. We couldn't make it any wider. We couldn't make it any more stock than it is.
If you ride maybe up in the mountains or by the coast where it gets colder, or you're going to be doing a lot of riding in rain, then the full cross-country tour is going to be what you need. Riding home, there was a herd of deer, and I had to do a slalom through deer about 40 miles an hour. Boom, 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 and I came through, and it was like I had to actually pull over and look back because I didn't believe I'd just done it.
Were the deer, they were like applauding?
Yeah, they did.
Thanks.
Well, let's talk about some stuff on the new cross-country tour. Tell us a little bit about the engine performance and its actual use on the road.
Okay. Well, we've got a lot of torque because we use modern technology, 4 valves per cylinder, air oil cooling, lets us cool the hottest part of the engine.
If you want to pass somebody, you don't have to drop it down to 4th gear, 3rd gear, and redline the thing. You just roll on, and then from 2,000 RPM coming up all the way through the range, it's just a fairly flat torque curve, pulls right through. Passing, 5th gear, 6th gear roll-ons, fully capable. You look back and all the guys on the competitive are like a quarter mile, half mile back. You're like, what happened? I thought we were having fun here.
Got the counterbalanced engine, so we mount it rigidly. It makes for a very rigid chassis.
We've got more than adequate lean angle on the cross bikes. All of our bikes.
31 degrees soft. It's a lot.
Talk a little bit about the suspension.
Well, we chose to make it air adjustable, so it's very easy. You can, just small pump, easy to carry with you. You can adjust your suspension when you load up the bike.
Talk a little bit about the chassis dynamics and sort of where the core of the motorcycle starts.
It starts with enough suspension travel and properly controlled wheel movement so that you're not bouncing down the road. Some of the competitive bikes we've ridden, you get into a corner and they start pitching and wallowing and moving around on you. We wanted to control the wheels. That rigidity keeps the bike going in a straight line and in a corner in a predictable manner. And it results in a motorcycle that's just more fun to ride hard than a lot of our competitors.
You want to roll into a corner and flick the thing over. You don't feel any wobble. It's just bang right over.
Something that's important this year is we've got anti-lock brakes on every touring motorcycle that we sell. And the Cross Country Tour has a pretty sophisticated ABS system. From what I understand, it has more resolution.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Basically, the ABS system is only as good as the size and the number of teeth on the tone ring. Ours has got tons of teeth. The ABS system, like on cars, is in there monitoring wheel lockup and preventing the lockup from happening, helping you recover traction. That's what keeps the bike upright if you're in a lockup situation and pointed where you're steering. More resolution on what's happening at your tire contact patch with the road means for better control.
You have a really different relationship with your bike when it's that reliable. I mean, the idea of putting it away in the winter, you fog it, you change the oil, you hook it up to the battery tender, and in the spring, take that stuff off and you just ride the snot out of it all summer long. It's amazing how many people you'll talk to that have that. They don't go to get this done, they don't go to get that done. It's a very different relationship. It's hard. It's sometimes hard to explain to people what that's like. You ride your motorcycle, that's what you do with it.
You change, there's one oil, there's not 3 different oils. It's one oil that does the gear lube, the cooling, the engine oil. You just drop the one oil. The spin-on filter is easy to get at. Doesn't run all over all your motorcycle. It's right at the bottom of the engine where it should be. It drains into the drain pan.
It's really easy to take the bags off with the quarter turns. That's a very simple thing. They sit right on top of a specially built pad on top of the exhaust. Then being able to take the top trunk off, and those things make a really big difference, not only in how you keep your motorcycle clean, but also how you can convert it real quick to if you don't want to ride with that stuff on there at a day in Sturgis or something.
The style of the lowers and the trunk and the stuff we've added, actually the bike looks like a work of art.
We could just make this bag as big as possible, but how does it actually tie in with the rest of the design? If you look at all the Victory models, there's a certain character line that flows from tip to tail.
Look at our trunk and look at the trim on the back edge of it, and look at that light that's on the back. That's really nice stuff. It's not an accessory trunk. We developed that at the same time, and that was a program by itself. There's a lot of thought in that. We always talk about, as Mike alluded to a little earlier, long and low integrated forms. We like that. We like lines that travel through the bike, so it's not so much a individual tank, seat, rear fender. We like to see some flow from the front end of the bike to the back, so it's a unified piece. We talk about having distinctive signature lighting. That's got a really beautiful rear light with a multi-element LED. It's very distinctive at night. We try to do that with all of our bikes.
It's just part of our DNA is trying to make things simpler and easier.
I think everybody's going to appreciate being able to pack it. Everybody's going to appreciate the low maintenance. I feel really strongly about the manners. I think that people are just going to feel that it's a really great bike to ride.
I rode long distances, bend twisty roads. I wouldn't want to be on any other motorcycle.
That's what people are going to do. They're going to gravitate towards it, and they're going to talk about it, and now all their buddies are going to be jealous, and they're going to want one too.